Hello everyone, this is Mac. Welcome to NCR India free video tutorial channel on YouTube. Here in this tutorial, I'm gonna continue animating the objects in the solar system. As you know that we have already animated the Saturn planet in our last tutorial. Now I'm gonna animate the rest of the planets as well, and even the Saturn ring. Okay, so first of all, stop the player and drag your scrub bar back to its original position here, which is the 0 on the time slide bar. Okay, now select the ring and press F to focus on the ring if you haven't focused on it yet. Now go to the channel box. Here select the rotate Y like that. Okay, now what you need to do is that in the same way I'm gonna make this ring to rotate around the up axis the way I did in the previous tutorial. Okay, now make sure that its the first position, its value has to be 0 of rotate Y, and the scrub bar has to be on its original position, initial position. Okay, now go to animate and set key to create a initial keyframe for your ring. Now drag your scrub bar to the end position and give the value of 360 in the rotate Y, which actually refers to the complete rotation around a circle. Right, it means that your ring is gonna rotate, is gonna complete a 360-degree angle by rotating around its pivot point. Okay, now go back to the animate and press set key to create its last keyframe. Now play this and you will see that your ring is also rotating in the same way you made your Saturn planet to rotate around its pivot point. Okay, remember that whenever you make some object to rotate, then it always rotates around some point, and that point is not only its center point, but it is also called as its pivot point. Okay, so for any kind of rotation, you should have a pivot point for your object. Okay, now take the scrub bar back to its original position again. It would be better if you will save your scene now. You can name it anything, and remember that you have to save your every scene in the scenes folder. Okay, save it. Now what we really need to do is that we have to make this Saturn planet and its ring to orbit around the sun, and we have to do this with every planet as well. Okay, now the thing is, how to make such an object to revolve around the sun. It's very simple, because I've told you that whenever you make some object to rotate around something, and that something has to be its pivot point, right? And in this rotation, as you know that we have already made the Saturn planet to revolve on its own axis. Okay, in that time it was actually rotating around its pivot point, which was placed on its center. Now if you want to rotate it around the sun, then your pivot point has to be placed at the center of the sun, which is the origin of this grid. Okay, now the thing is, there are two ways you can do this. Now either you displace your pivot point of the Saturn, which is already placed on the center of the Saturn, to the center of the sun, or you make the two pivot points for the Saturn planet so that it can also revolve around the sun as well as on its axis. Now if you actually displace the pivot point of the Saturn to the center of the sun, then what will happen? It will rotate around the sun, but not on its own axis. The self rotation will be vanished. Okay, so we actually have to provide the two pivot points to each of these planets to make them rotate on its axis, on their own axis, as well as around the sun. So how am I gonna do this? It's very simple. Just follow this step. First of all, select Saturn back again and press shift to select its ring as well. Now press F to focus on them. Now press, now first of all go to edit, click on the groups. Okay, now you have seen that another node has been created, which is called the parent node of this Saturn and the ring, and you will name it as Saturn orbit. Okay, so what we have actually did, it's what we have actually done is that we have provided another pivot point which is placed on the center of the sun, okay, by creating this group called Saturn orbit, and press E to get the rotate tool manipulator, and press F back again, select them. Oh, home Saturn orbit. Okay, yeah, now you can see that the your rotation tool manipulator is actually placed around the center of the sun. It means it will make the planets Saturn and its ring both to rotate around the sun. Okay, now the pivot point is placed at the center of the sun, and this is your second pivot point. Okay, now we have to follow the same steps. Your scrub bar has to be on its initial position, and the rotate bar has to be 0. Okay, now go to the animate, press set key to create the first keyframe for the planet Saturn and its ring both. Now drag your scrub bar to its end point and give the rotation of 720 degree. It means its orbit, they will rotate around the sun 2 times when the Saturn and its ring will complete their one single rotation. Okay, now go to the animate and press set key back again. Now press play it, and you will see how it will work. So in the same way, I'm gonna make other planets to rotate around the sun as well. Remember that each and every planet should have the 2 pivot points to make them revolve around the sun as well as on their own axis. So that's all about this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and please do make your comments after my videos. Bye bye, take care.